Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video, and some of you may remember a little while ago I did a video about some G1 toys, but those weren't really G1, they were a mix of Legacy and Studio Series G1, so newer toys. But today I wanted to take a look at some actual G1 toys. So today we have G1 Optimus Prime. Now this is the 2018 reissue, so he is opened, and I'm not too worried about keeping the box. I just like the way he looks in there. And we have an actual 1987 Scattershot. This one I got at a shop called Retro Replay in Bel Air for around $20. Anyone within like the Maryland area, I highly recommend checking this out because they have very, very good deals. I mean, $20 for a G1 Scattershot is not bad. And then this I got off of Amazon, a little bit overpriced, but this was the only one I could find at the lowest price. So he was about $60. I really kind of wish I got the trailer, but there are some people on eBay selling just the trailer and roller and everything, so I might get that and might do a review on that little place up. But let's take a look at Scattershot here. Now this Scattershot is a little bit worn out. He has some breakage points, like down here these little clips are broken on mine, which makes this a little bit loose, especially in spaceship mode. And then is it this ratchet? No, this ratchet in the shoulder is broken. That doesn't work anymore. And then I think something in here is broken because it doesn't really clip together very well. If I squeeze it together, it'll stay, but it doesn't take a lot to get it to pop open. So you might see that a lot throughout this review. But his stickers are kind of worn out. You can see some sun bleaching there, like that was the original color of the plastic, and that's what happens. This is a different type of plastic than this, so it's more susceptible to sun bleaching. I think this might have sat in like a window or been played a lot with outside. But I did do, or at least try to do, a little restoring. I bought Toy Hacks stickers for this, so I'll get those off. That's where that comes from. I tried to restore the yellowing plastic. It did work a little bit. It was a lot worse when I originally got it, but you can still see the difference between there. I don't have any of his accessories. This does turn into the body of Superion, or not Superion, Computron. It does turn into Computron, and he would have his guns and Computron's head there, but he didn't have any of those. I don't know if Toy Hacks, I know they sell some replacement guns. I don't know if they have stuff for him, but I'll check that out. I'll see if I can track down any of the other Computron components. But he is a bit worn down, but he is still, for the most part, mechanically still in very good shape. Now, articulation is very limited. Head doesn't do anything because it's on a plate for transformation. Arms, as I mentioned, are on a ratchet joint. This one doesn't work. They can do a full 360, but I'm probably not going to because I'm just worried about the longevity of those ratchets. The waist, this can move for transformation, and that allows a waist articulation that is also on a very strong ratchet joint. But when that's plugged in, the waist can't move because this goes into a divot in the back. Legs are on a very, very soft ratchet. You can't really hear the click, but they do sort of set into place, and you can feel that. No outward motion, no twisting. You can get a knee joint, which exposes the combiner port, so you can get that if you want it, which is pretty cool. And there's nothing at the feet, so he is pretty articulated for a G1 figure. There's not much you can do with it, but overall it's pretty decent articulation. Alright, now transformations. This is technically a quad changer. He has 4 modes: a robot, a spaceship, a anti-aircraft gun sort of thing, and then the torso of Superion, or Computron. I don't know why I keep getting them mixed up. But let's do the spaceship mode first. So what you first want to do is push in this head as on a plate that you can just pull up. And I'm not worried about this paint because his face is set far enough back that when it goes down, it doesn't scrape across the edge, if that's something you're worrying about. But push that head down, flip this panel up, and that will peg in to there in robot mode. And that is on, I've seen it referred to as a foomp, which I think is a good term for that. It sort of sets into place. These arms are a little fiddly to get in, so what I like to do first is rotate it how it needs to be, and then do this, because if you try to do this before rotating it, it gets a bit fiddly with trying to get the arms in there, and those set into those divots right there. Swing these legs all the way around, and that exposes some sticker detail there, which is pretty cool. Push this cockpit up and make sure that is closed. Again, on mine, it doesn't take a lot to open it, but flip out these wings. This one's going to drip on mine, and fold out this landing gear, and then you have spaceship mode. And spaceship mode is very nice. It looks really cool with how it looks like it mass shifts with this really tiny cockpit along all this nice mechanical detail that it's exposed. Granted, most of it is with stickers, but the stickers really do work to bring this to life. He has this little gun here. If you had his weapons, I believe there's a radar dish sort of thing that can go up top in there. You can plug his guns into his hand ports because they are still exposed. And then if you had his head, I don't know where that would go. It would probably just be set off to the side. But overall, I do like the G1 aesthetic of this super sci-fi spaceship. This was in the later seasons, after the 86 movie, so it was very sort of spacey. At least I think it was after the 86 movie, but it was very spacey vibes in the third and fourth season of Transformers, and this really does emulate that, and it does look very nice. It has some very nice detailing. Alright, now on to turret mode, and I find it easier to go from this mode to turret mode because all you do is flip up that landing gear, take his legs, and flip them one click down, 1 or 2 clicks depending on how you want the cannon oriented, or no, you go this way. So that detailing is facing down. And then flip these forward. And then the most satisfying gimmick ever is you push this button as you've seen me do, and that flips that out, and that is very satisfying to do. A little annoying because it doesn't lock in properly, but it's very nice, and it's got some power to it as well. But yeah, overall, it does change its look quite a lot, but it's just sort of a lump of mechanical parts. And I mean, it works as a turret, I guess, as a laser turret, but that's not really the main point of this figure. And the main point of this figure is his combine mode into Computron. So fold that up, get these legs here. You basically want to put it back into the robot mode. So you take all that, spin that around, leave these in, fold that down, fold the head up. If you had his helmet, that would just sit over top of the head. Fold that back up, and then bend these knees back, which exposes the combiner ports, and there is the torso of Computron. Again, like I said, I don't have any of the other components to it, but if you did have them, the arms would lock into those, and it's actually a really interesting locking mechanism. I'm not sure how it works, but given the age of when I've been growing up with, I started collecting during Combiner Wars, and those are very, very different than G1 locking ports. And then down here, it's just a simple clip mechanism that holds those in place. But overall, it's pretty solid. Nothing feels like it will come off. The articulation is still basically the same as Scattershot. I'm assuming these arms would just rotate. These would go like that. You could probably get a knee joint out of that. But overall, pretty solid torso for a combiner. And there is G1 Scattershot. Overall, a pretty fun toy. Would probably be more fun if I had his weapons and other things, but on its own, it's pretty fun, pretty posable for a G1 figure, and it's pretty cool to have in my collection. Anything G1, I automatically just see as a holy grail, because I just love the G1 toys. They're so interesting, and I really want to collect old G1 toys, not like reissues or anything, because it's just a different time. Plastics were different, build quality was different, and there that goes. And overall, they're just a lot more solid and more fun to just see how these older toys would work. And now we move on to the one thing that anybody who clicked on this video is probably going to want to see: the G1 Optimus Prime. Now, as I said, this is the 2018 reissue. I would have liked to have an original G1 Optimus Prime with his trailer, but I just don't have the money for that. I've seen eBay listings that are like $100 or something like that, or $200, and just I can't do that right now. So this was the cheapest one I could find on Amazon, or the cheapest seller I could find. So let's get them open. Now, in the original G1 packaging, this would be styrofoam, and it is just a plastic sheet, so not very environmentally friendly. Here's this other gun. Not very environmentally friendly, but it's still more friendly than styrofoam. And real quick, I just want to take a look at the packaging, because this is just the most retro it could possibly get. Like, this back with the stat bar and stuff, and this stuff, which was actually written by Marvel. Very basic Transformers knowledge, but if you don't know, these characters were created by Marvel, which I think is pretty interesting because they also own the rights to Transformers. But that's some very cool, very nice artwork, showing just how goofy these toys looked. But enough about the packaging. Let's get to the instructions. I don't know if these are the original instructions, how they looked, but they seem to me pretty retro. You got that very simple transformation that lets you know where to put the stickers, because yes, most of the detailing is done with stickers per usual G1. And then in the package you have the man himself, Optimus, in truck mode here, 2 different guns, which I will get into later, and then his hands are separately packaged because on the original toy he does have parts forming. A lot of the G1 toys have very sort of annoying parts forming, because these can get lost easily, but as long as you keep them with him, that's okay. And they thought about that because you can open up this front cab section and there's a little hole in there that you can store the hands in, which is very nice. Now, transformation on a G1 Optimus Prime is very simple. It's the classic transformation of bring these legs around, and I wasn't expecting when I first got this for it to do that, because you see the legs are closed together and then you open them up and they spread apart, so that's pretty cool. Fold these feet up, take the arms, fold them out, the classic Optimus Prime thing. Take the hands out, fold this head up, that pegs into the top, put the hands on, and those just plug right into these nice chromed bits, which I'm kind of worried about, but I don't see anything major happening, especially since this is a newer toy. And then you have the classic G1 Optimus Prime. And looks wise, this is a very goofy looking toy. I do like the head. I like this head a little bit better than I like the show head, just with the yellow eyes and the cheek vents that sort of look like anime blushing, and now you can't unsee it. And this white stripe that they emulated in the show. When he transforms, he has that gray body section, but then when he does this, the stripe just disappears, so whatever. But all of the detailing is done with stickers. He doesn't have the classic arrows. I don't know where that really came from on the original Fluoro Deary animation model. I don't know where he pulled that from, but you get these nice stickers, very shiny foil stickers as well. This whole toy is very shiny, with the headlights and everything. Just very classic G1 Optimus Prime stuff. The chrome is done very nice here, and that's an issue I'll get to later. The chrome is done very nice here. It is very fingerprinty because I fiddle with this a lot, but overall it's a very nice chrome. Nothing wants to come off. None of this is painted except for the front chest area, which is fully die-cast metal, and this window is an insert, so you don't have to worry about it breaking. The only thing that's really painted is this, and then I think maybe these chrome pieces. I don't really know how they do chrome. I don't know if they plate the chrome on or if they paint it on, but that is something you kind of have to worry about with scratching and mainly fingerprints. But overall, pretty solid, not a lot of paint to chip, and it's pretty nice. Articulation on Optimus is a lot more than I was expecting. So he has nothing at the head unless you count this panel as something. He does have rotation at the shoulders at a very nice ratchet. I was not expecting his shoulders to rotate. I don't know why, but I was not expecting that on this toy when I first got it. Elbows can move up and down. They have a backwards butterfly joint. These can also move like that. Hands can twist because they are separate parts. And then he does have knee articulation in there, which is pretty tight on this one. I don't know if it's like that for all G1 Optimus, Optimus Eye, whatever you want to call them, but they are pretty tight for mine. And then he has some toe articulation if that interests you. But there is something annoying on this. I don't know if it's a reissue thing, if it's just my copy, or if this is just a G1 Optimus thing, but he likes to do this a lot. I think these, either the springs are just too strong. I might need to go in there and clip them, or there might be some wear on this piece, because you can see those are teeth, and these are regular plastic but chromed with chrome, and those rub up, and I don't know if you can see that. It looks like it's being shaved away a little bit, particularly on this leg. This leg doesn't do it much, but it looks like it's being shaved away on this leg, and I think that might be what's doing it. There's just not enough tooth to keep that in place. But that is very annoying, because I'll pick it up and he'll just flop over, or I'll set him down and he's always at this angle because he just doesn't want to sit straight. But articulation is a bit more than I was expecting. It's still very G1. There's nothing much you can do with it. It's very two-dimensional, not a lot of, stuff. You can't get him in any poses, but at least he can hold his guns. Now he does come with 2 of these guns. Once again, I'm not versed in the original G1 toys. I'm not sure if he always came with 2 guns, but this one looks more in line with the gun he has on his packaging. You can see there, it's got the 2 prongs on it. So I think this was probably the gun that came with the G1 Prime, and it is a very faithful representation of his ion blaster. I guess the animation model will be a faithful interpretation of this, but it does look very chunky, very 80s sci-fi gun, and he can hold it. Can't do a lot of poses with it, but at least he can hold it straight, unlike some later toys like Pretenders. And then he also comes with this gun. This gun looks a bit more animation accurate with just the general vibe. It's a bit slimmer. It doesn't have those prongs at the front like this one does. It goes in his hand a little bit weird. The peg is just a bit shallower, so if you want him to really hold it, then it has to be like sideways like that. But same thing as the other gun, just this one is a bit slimmer. But he does come with those. His hands are packaged separately. I do not have the trailer. I really want the trailer, but hopefully I will get that one day and I'll do a full review on the full Optimus playset. But for now, this is all I got, and this isn't too bad. So there you go, there's my review on G1 Optimus Prime and Scattershot. Pretty basic review. Any hardcore Transformers collector or just casual fan will know all about Optimus Prime. I mean, it's Optimus Prime. probably know about G1 Scattershot. But I just thought this video would be a fun little thing to take a look at some older toys from way before my time and just see what it was like. And they're pretty fun, and I recommend if you want to start a G1 collection, this is a pretty fun figure. Obviously you're going to want a G1 Optimus Prime. He's just a classic, but he is also very nice if you collect all of the bots that turn into Computron. That's a very fun figure from reviews that I've seen. But yep, there's my review on G1 Optimus and Scattershot. Follow me on Instagram at Rodimus_slime, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.